And now we are recording. Why does it jump a few seconds? Like, I don't understand.
All right, we just start from the top.
We are. This is the top.
Right?
That's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we've started. We're
all right.
We're WTF with Mark Marining this shit. And just starting.
So cool,
starting
casual.
Up. Yeah, we're here in the garage. Lock the gates. I got the cats. I've literally forgotten everything else about Mark Maron other than those things that I just said. Okay, hello. Getting the levels right. Hey, welcome to Trek in the Valley. The number one Star Trek podcast that is recorded in my apartment.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Adam Ordall Quinnell. That other voice you hear is...
Hi, my name is Al Hirt here.
And of course you know that because you've been diligent listeners of Trek in the Valley these last 23 months.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dad and company. You're here for episode 23.
Wow.
Of the podcast and episode 24 of Star Trek: The Original Series.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been to the Trek in the Valley podcast before, we'll talk about I do some intro stuff for the episode. We talk about an episode of Star Trek, and then we talk about like what we thought of it as we go, kind of, and then maybe if we remember, we'll recommend like media or something for you to watch or play or enjoy, and all of this. Mm-hmm. From the incredibly overcast San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, it is kind of dreary today.
Terrible weather lately. I mean, it's so the weather is so bad in California that at my job where I talk to people across the country, they're like mentioning the weather out here because it's like in the news.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it is rainy, that's for sure.
There's a lot of puddles.
Definitely rainy.
Also, though, it is Pi Day, 3/14.
Ooh, I saw somebody online. I don't know who it was, but they had like on the inside of a windowsill, like a big rectangular windowsill, there's like a bunch of numbers of pi printed all the way around the windowsill. It's like, you fucking dorks. You
gotta love it.
Yeah, you gotta get that cheap pizza at Blaze Pizza.
Hey, that took a while.
So that
was good though.
We're recording this on Al stood in the rain.
No, it wasn't outside, but dude, I almost practically did.
He had an umbrella and a chair.
Had to shove people over.
For Blaze Pizza for $3.14, and it is Pi Day, so that's the day we're recording this. It is Tuesday, March 14th, 2023.
When's that episode come out? When this one come out?
Well, one moment. Last week we talked about A Taste of Armageddon, which was great. Mm-hmm. We got a little taste of the Geddon. And this week the episode is titled This Side of Paradise. Kind of sounds like an 80s hair metal song. Like,
or an album.
Yeah. This Side of Paradise.
Yeah.
Pack your bags, we're leaving. March 1st, 1967. To answer your earlier question, that is when this episode aired.
Yeah.
March 1st, 1967. The synopsis from our sponsors at Paramount Plus is the Enterprise visits a colony where floral spores bring peace and contentment.
Okay.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like a very chill episode of Star Trek. And as most of these remastered original series episodes go, this one opens with a rad space shot of the ship. Mm-hmm. And they don't really cover this again, but look at this. Isn't the planet... So they're approaching the planet Omicron Ceti 3.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Doesn't the planet look like it's glowing or some shit all weird?
Well, they just probably put a different filter on it to make it seem like
I guess maybe the sun is on the other side or something. There's like a weird look. If you're watching along with the podcast, there's some weird glowing shit, I think, around Omicron Ceti 4. Yeah, like look, it's like that weird glowiness when it shows it on the view screen.
Yeah.
And I still love it when we see the remastered view screens.
Oh, it looks gorgeous.
Because it looks awesome.
Maybe you can also, though, it could be the spores in the air, right? That's making, or the atmosphere, making that green glow, right?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Or should I say, sporsler alert. Anyway, there's spores later. So they're approaching this Omicron Ceti 3. Do you remember why they're going to Omicron Ceti 3?
I don't know why. I just remember though that they expect to find them all dead because of what is it?
Berthold
rays.
Which so you're close. So they have lost contact with a settlement on Omicron Ceti 3, and they're going to check it out. As they're approaching the planet that I do believe has a weird glow, as
the rays.
There you go. The Berthold.
There you go.
That is what it is.
That
It's
could be
the
it. Yeah.
fucking Berthold rays. So
Berthold.
isn't that a character from Attack on Titan?
Maybe, I think so.
That's why Brittany said Berthold like she was doing voiceover for Attack on Titan when we were watching it. So they're approaching this planet where there's a colony they lost contact with a couple years ago. And it took the colonists a year to get out there. And Kirk says, yeah, we've lost contact with the planet. We haven't heard anything back from the planet. We've been sending them a signal. Spock explains that because of the toxic nature of the Berthold rays that they're getting from the sun, living animal tissue disintegrates under exposure. And then the little trick is they find out that the settlers knew there might be a risk of Berthold rays, and they settled there anyway. So Spock, Kirk, maybe Bones, and a biologist beam down to this planet to see what's going on. People can be in Berthold rays for a few days. It's fine. So they can go down there and check it out. And then they beam down, and it's basically like they beam down to a location that's like a couple miles away from where we record. Like it's a ranch in Burbank.
Real.
Clearly, like I made a joke about
nice.
I made a joke about it being on like the back of Paramount or whatever, and then it cut to it. Then it cut to a shot of the hills in the background, and I was like, oh yeah, that's where we live.
There you go.
So yeah, it's obviously like a backlot set that's used for a lot of like westerns and shit.
Sure.
So it's a farm, it's abandoned, they think, and then boom, a few people in green jumpsuits come out, and they're like, "Hey, we're not dead." And Kirk's like, "You're not dead."
Huh?
Oh, one thing that I want to ask you, dude.
It's so awkward.
I hate to pause the trajectory of the summary or the recap, as the kids say. But who the fuck is Mr. Painter? Remember that? Remember Kirk, like Mr. Painter, like he's talking like the there's a different helmsman every fucking episode.
Oh, of course.
And he asked for Mr. Painter like 4 times. And then they beam down, and Kirk's like, "Oh, this Painter." They're looking around at the vacant farm, and they're like, this is another dream that failed. These people traveled for a year, and then they're dead.
These people really died.
They really died.
And then right around the corner, they're like, we're not dead.
We're hardly that, sir, says a guy who seems alive. I'm Elias Sandoval. And then, yes, you did the dun-dun-dun. Perfect timing.
I wrote in my notes, too. I was like, they just discover people that aren't dead.
Hey guys, we're not dead. Guess what? Hey, and then Kirk shakes his hand, and then Kirk's
all
like,
kind of
what
freaking
the
out.
fuck?
Yeah, and they're asking questions amongst themselves, and then Kirk says a really good line though. He's like, "Gentlemen, we're debating in a vacuum. Let's get some answers."
Well, but when Kirk shakes the guy's hand, you can tell that Kirk is kind of uncomfortable.
Oh, of course.
Like Kirk's like, I don't want to touch this Berthold mutant, like this Berthold Ray infected mutant.
They're on edge.
But basically, Bones says these people shouldn't, or Spock says these people shouldn't be alive. And Sulu asks, "Is it possible they're not?" I like how Sulu thinks. He's like, is it possible they're the undead? Basically,
some magic.
That Sandoval guy explains that when they all land... Oh, and Bones and Spock get into an argument because Bones is like, they're clearly alive. You shook his hand. He's got a warm, living person hand. And Spock's like, but Bertolt lies are lethal. And his logic is like, does not compute. These people can't be alive.
Yeah. And he's like, dude, why don't we ask them?
Yeah,
that's kind of what Kirk says, right, with the vacuum thing.
Yeah, Kirk is like, we're just talking in circles. How about we go converse with these zombies, ghosts?
Go right there.
These Bertolt Ray ghosts.
They haven't attacked us yet, you know. Might as well.
They seem like regular, chill colonists, and they go into one of the buildings, and they kind of get the lay of the land. They see some people working in little gardens.
It seems peaceful and all that too.
Yeah,
tranquil.
And the Sandoval guy explains that when they landed, they broke up into 3 colonies to kind of spread out, so that if like one colony gets sick, everybody's not going to get sick.
True.
And then we get this. Oh, and also he notes that it's like a perfect agricultural planet.
Yeah, he
it's
does really make a big note of that.
Great for growing plants, for not spores, if you know what I'm saying. And then he brings out his botanist Layla, this beautiful and only
the
shot.
music swells.
Not only does the music swells, and she's only like they really Vaselined up the lens. Like she's only shot in the softest of focus.
Yeah.
And this is Layla.
And Spock's like, run.
Yep, Spock's ears perk up.
Yeah, right.
Get it? His ears are pointy. Because they know each other. They've met her
They
before.
got history.
It's a hilarious scene because she's like giving him bedroom eyes, like we have history and blah blah blah. And Spock is just like looks like Spock when they show his close-ups.
He's like,
So basically, Sandoval explains that the philosophy of their planet is simple. People should live a less complicated life. No vehicles, no weapons. They have harmony. And then the planet spits, or the planet
spits.
The away team splits up. They go looking around. Sulu and some random blue shirt, possibly this Mr. Painter everybody's raving about. They're snooping around. They notice that there aren't any animals.
No, and before this, though, when they were making bedroom eyes, Spock and Layla, you could see that Kirk's already ticked off, too, just like in the other episode.
Oh, dude, Kirk hates when you get up in his Kool-Aid.
Not in love.
Yeah, Kirk wants all the Kool-Aid for himself.
It's great.
And oh man, Kirk,
it adds on to later, too.
Kirk has such a great fucking arc in this episode.
Yeah.
We really learn a lot about how quickly he like almost gives up.
It's fantastic.
And so then Sandoval says, the plant, we got a less complicated harmony. Everybody goes looking around.
So yeah, they're all snooping around, and then the first comes up. But go ahead.
Are you talking about Layla and Sandoval?
No, not that. Go ahead.
Okay, so Layla and Sandoval have like a little conversation after the Enterprise people leave, and Sandoval's like, "Do you love him?" And she's like, yes, or something. And he's like, does he love you? And she's like, Spock doesn't understand love, or he has no need for love.
He doesn't have love to give me, is what she says.
Yep,
yeah, he doesn't have any love to give.
And then he's like,
Vulcan. And
then Sandoval's like, do you want him to stay? It's like, ooh, what the fuck is going on?
Well, yeah, already like that. And then, and then the other scene, though, while the Enterprise crew's looking outside, Sulu, he's like, hey, there's no animals here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a barn. And it's huge, but it's empty. What is this for?
It's just for storage.
Yeah, there's nothing around here.
No animals.
They have fruit and stuff, and they're growing, but...
And on the manifest of the ship they took there 3 years earlier, it says that there be animals on there.
So they were there for a while now. And he keeps emphasizing that it's an agricultural planet, but they have like a plot or two.
Yeah, later they mention in just a few moments they mention that that it is a great agricultural planet, but they haven't really planted anything.
Right, that's when it starts to unravel more.
Even before that, though.
Oh yeah,
we get this awesome sequence of Bones doing physicals on the colonists.
Oh yeah.
And he sees all these people, and he tells Jim, "Hey, they're perfectly healthy." And then he says this weird turn of phrase. He says, if there was more of them, meaning people who are perfectly healthy, I could throw away my shingle.
I don't know what that means.
That has got to be a doctor thing.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I am going to Google it while we attempt to continue. So basically, these people are perfectly healthy.
Yeah, and while he's reporting on that, though, he whips out his transporter or whatever, his reporter thing, Kirk, and he's like, hey, Spock, what's going on out there? And Spock's like, yeah, there's definitely no animals out here. The only life on Earth are the settlers that we just met 10 minutes ago.
On this planet, Omicron.
Or on this planet at all. Yeah, exactly.
So there's nothing alive, no bugs, no nothing. Just the settlers.
All. Yeah, exactly.
I found the definition.
Okay.
Hanging out one's shingle is, so to hang out your shingle is to start your own business, especially a doctor or a lawyer. Your shingle is, I bet it's like your thing that has your name on it that you put on your door. It's like you put it out in the front of your business. It's like doctor, barber, or doctor, lawyer. And so to hang up your shingle would be so you don't have to work anymore.
Yeah,
you're done. And the more interesting thing is not only are these people perfectly healthy, but he compares the medical records from before they left, and he finds that like anything they had,
cancer.
everything. Well,
not that extreme, but there was a thyroid, right?
People had issues with their thyroid. There was people who had scar tissues on their lungs. There was a person who didn't have their tonsil, or no, is that their appendix?
Yeah.
Bones is the one who
Bones was the tonsil. Yeah.
But before that, he says that in these medical records there was one person who had an appendicitis before they left.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I just scanned him now, and not only is he perfectly healthy, but he's got a perfectly healthy appendix.
And he said he scanned, at first though, he scanned 9 people from 23 to 53, all excellent health. So, I mean, it's all, and Kirk also says though, this is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle where they're all the pieces are the same color, or like, all these keys or something where they don't fit in a lock. He's just saying it's a really weird situation, and
shit's weird.
Everything's going too well.
No planets, and they haven't planted that much food. There's no animals.
This is a big episode too, where it's like there's no random animal that's attacking them, or there's no random thing that's threatening them immediately.
Yeah, and they really build the space.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
they build the environment out so that you feel like you're in this pastoral, agricultural kind of
like Midsummer.
It really is like a little bit like Midsummer in terms of how they're living.
Builds up, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a little weird, but
and they do trip in Midsummer.
Yeah.
So McCoy calls back the medical records, and so this is where shit gets extra.
Yeah, that's when
weird.
It kicks off.
Spock and Layla are inspecting a field. There's no insects. Spock's like, how the fuck are you guys surviving without hitting these Bertolt rays? And she's like, we can talk about that later. And Spock is like
cool.
a misogynist. I didn't realize this about Spock, but he's like low-level meathead because he's like, I always marvel at how women will refuse to answer a direct question. And so, unfortunately, Spock is canceled.
Yeah, right.
You heard it here first. We're cancel. Hashtag cancel Spock.
Jeez.
Hashtag Trek in the Valley.
Just be his, logic coming out. His.
Wait. Are you saying that it's logical to think Al Hirt is hashtag Al Hirt canceled? And then this is when she says, "If I tell you how I survived, Spock, will you try to understand why we feel the way we feel here?" And Spock says, "Emotions are foreign to me." And she says, "You can't fool me. We did over the pants stuff," or whatever, because they knew each other. That's not what they said, but it really you can tell that they
did do that.
It really feels like they didn't have sex, but they definitely fooled around.
But that was probably the most illogical part, thinking about it.
Yeah,
and him to do that, to just start off that way.
And then there's another.
And he walks off.
What's the next curveball? Al?
What the leader Sandoval. They keep asking him questions, and he gives them political ass answers. Like, yeah, those are pretty good arguments, but they don't apply to us.
But arguments about what? He says at, the evacuation.
Yeah.
So while Spock
and the agricultural stuff too, they call him out a bit on that.
While Spock is getting the tour of the fields, as it were, Kirk gets an order from Starfleet to evacuate the colony. Sandoval, of course, says no. And just like you said, Sandoval's like, but look at us, we're fine, we're healthy.
Yeah, we're cool, we're good.
Your doctor said we're fine. And Kirk wants to know why all their animals died. And he's like, that doesn't matter.
Who cares? Yeah.
Who cares what happened to our fucking animals? We're fine. We're staying here. And this is where at 14, oh wow, we're getting right to it as I was talking about it. Y'all don't know this, but on the screen, the thing I'm about to talk about comes up. And she's Layla is showing Spock this plant.
Oh, I love
she
how,
says it makes you peaceful. What does she say?
No, I love before they walk up, those Spock's like, you've not explained the nature of this thing.
Yeah, you've not explained the nature of why you are able to live on this planet.
Why am I in the middle of the nowhere?
Its basic properties and elements are not important, she says. What's important is it gives life, peace,
Whoa.
love.
It feels like some hippie cult shit.
It does. And that's when Spock says, what you're describing is a happiness pill. But that's so dumb. It's like, this is the 60s, right?
Anyways, right?
This is the 60s, right? It was written in the 1960s. So they're definitely like, I love how it's just like, and then these people are a commune, basically. It's funny because, the Starfleet is essentially a socialist or communist fucking society, right? And then they meet these other like socialist communists, but these are not the good kind.
No,
these are brainwashed by spores. So that's when Spock gets a load of spores in the face.
No, and I think this goes back to my theory that I'll bring up at the end. He kind of leads himself and walks up to it too, as he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we did do over the pants stuff, and you are pretty, and then he just keeps going,
As a scientist, you should have known that it's not possible to have a happiness pill. And then she says, "Come."
Screw that.
She says, "Come." And he's like,
yeah.
And then the plant.
Oh, and as soon as the plant, does his spore action, that's like really funny too, just seeing it just shoot right on his face.
You can see an honest reaction from Nimoy as the
that
spores hit him in the eyes.
Yeah.
And then Spock is riddled with pain, like he's having a migraine from the spores. He's having a bad trip, man.
But I'm also thinking, though, it's kind of reminiscent, too, of The Wizard of Oz when they go in the poppy fields and shit.
Yes.
And they're just tripping out.
And the colors, and she kind of looks like Judy Garland, and like the colors that they shot this
It's eerie, though, And the creepy music's playing, too. The vocal, that creepy theremin vocal music.
Theremin / weird vocals. It reminds me of like the type of music that Uhura plays, kind of, but like a goth version of it. And Spock is in pain, and Layla's like, none of our people have been in pain. And he's like, I am not like your people. And then he gets through it. He gets through the onset of his high.
And then he just twists to this beautiful music. And he's like blooming, and he's like, oh my gosh.
And then she says, now you belong to all of us, which we'll talk about from the compendium. That's like part of the story that they didn't. She says, now you belong to all of us. You and we to you. There's no need to hide your inner face any longer. Isn't that great? Because she knows that Spock. So, like, something we learn about Spock throughout all of Star Trek, right? Is that the reason Vulcans are so fucking logical is because they're actually so savage and crazy. And, like, they were a savage, crazy race until Sarek or somebody, their, like, ancient Vulcan, like, whipped them into shape and gave them the path of logic. Put them down the path of logic. So that's why they meditate and shit. So they actually have a lot of fucking emotions. They just have to repress them through meditation. Down. So she knows that. She's like, you don't have to hide your inner face anymore. That's so cool. And also that's like some
that leads more to my thing.
That's also some very stereotypical first-time drug user shit. Like, oh, we're all one now, and like now you don't have to hide your inner face because
like rubbing the grass and shit.
Yeah, you need water. Creepy theremin music. Captain's still trying to convince Sandoval to evacuate, and this is when Kirk's calling Spock, and Spock's being catty about it. Spock is being hilariously catty about everything. Good. And he tries calling Spock, and Spock's looking at clouds and talking about dragons and shit. Like
he's chilling with Layla on her lap.
I love it because it's like, Spock's just like me. He's like all baked and talking about dragons. Yeah. He saw a dragon once. And Kirk is talking to him, and you mentioned that Spock was reminiscent of the double rainbow guy in this scene.
He was just like, whoa, this is so amazing. He goes, I've seen a dragon and ran away and like been in action and stuff, but I've never really laid down and looked at clouds.
Like, have you ever fucking, Spock is like, have you ever fucking looked at fucking clouds, man?
Look at this shape.
They're temporary, but huge. So basically, Kirk is trying to talk to Spock, and
his transporter thing keeps beeping.
And so Spock is like hugging on Layla, and they're like doing this weird, like they're not kissing, but they're rubbing their faces together. No, it's when Kirk is talking to Spock, and they're like hugging and rubbing faces like cats. It was really weird. And they're on. It's like they're on ecstasy, but this is the '60s, so they didn't really know what that was.
True.
And then Spock drops his communicator, and Kirk looks at Bones, and he goes,
that part's hilarious.
And he says to Bones, "Didn't you say you'd like him if he mellowed a little bit?"
Yeah, he's like, "This isn't mellowed out."
And then Kirk, Sulu, and the random blue shirt find Spock playing in a tree like a damned goofball. He's hanging in a tree, and then DeSalle, at the same time, DeSalle is telling the doctor that he's got to look at the plants, and you know what's going to happen then.
Well, yeah, but this whole interaction, though, Spock just straight disrespecting him. I like how everybody has their own little nickname. So he keeps referring to Kirk as Jim. Spock does, you know?
Yep.
He's like, no, I don't want to report back, Jim. I don't think so. And he's like, no, I'm telling you right now, that's an order. And he's like, no, I'm gonna stay right here.
And he also straight up says, Spock says, we're not doing the evacuation.
Oh yeah, he's like
there's
no,
there's not going to be an evacuation.
That's not happening.
And this is so funny because Spock looks at Kirk and says, "We got to get you straightened out."
Yeah,
meaning we got to get you high.
Yeah.
Like Spock's like, Jim, you're
gotta mellow out, dude.
You're like up here, man. Like we gotta straighten you out, bro.
Chill out, brother.
We gotta straighten you out, man. Just a real greasy
hilarious.
hippie shit. The same kind
As
of people
he's swinging off a tree.
Which is funny because real hippie shit, that's like the same kind of people who would, hang out at a closed ranch like that outside of Hollywood.
But the way he just walks up to the tree with the happy face and he's just
It's so weird.
Beaming, just ready for them to get shot in the face.
Oh, and then all three of them get blasted with spores.
Blasted.
Right? But they don't affect Kirk, and he leaves.
No, he just stands there like, what the hell is this?
He's like, this mine was bunk. I got a bunk. I got the swag. I got the swag spores.
The shit wasn't strong enough for Kirk.
So then Kirk goes back. He's the only sober one now.
Yep.
Because as we find out, Bones is high as hell and talking like a hillbilly.
Great.
How's it going there, Jimmy boy? He's basically turned into Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
That's exactly like, and I don't know if Jimmy Carter was huge in politics in 1967. Obviously, he was the president from like 77 to 81 or whatever. But like he's like Jimmy Carter. He's talking about mint juleps and shit.
Yeah.
And then you find out, because Kirk messages the transporter room guy to beam him up, transporter room guy clearly spored out of his mind. And then you find out that the plants have been beamed up to the ship. And then Kirk goes up to the ship. Transporter room guy is ripped. Uhura refuses Kirk's order.
Like,
she
no,
says,
I'm not going to call anyone. What are you talking about?
She's like, not only that, but I destroyed the radio.
Yeah, whoops.
We can only communicate with the surface now.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to actually transport down to the ship right now.
She's like, I'm going to go down to the surface. Peace out.
Where y'all are.
And it's funny because they were supposed to evacuate the colonists to the ship. And instead, everybody on the ship gets high on space spores, and then they evacuate to the planet. And Kirk's like,
this next scene's pretty good, though.
Oh, the line. So Kirk walks out into the hallway, and there's a line of people that are going to beam down to the planet.
They don't have multiple transporter rooms.
And Kirk says, get back to your station. This red shirt says, no, sir. And Kirk says, this is mutiny, mister.
He's like, yeah, I know.
He's like, yes, sir, it is. And he just smiles. He's like, Kirk goes, this is mutiny, mister. And he goes, yes, sir. It is.
Right. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
And he looks like he's having the time of his life. Just a line of people that are doing mutiny. The most peaceful mutiny ever.
Seriously.
We're just all leaving.
Yeah, I turned to Adam and I was like, wow, like Kirk's he's pretty screwed if everyone just up and leaves.
Yep. And then look.
They're just leaving in 6x6, on the transporter, full blow.
And then Kirk is by himself on the bridge, and before it cuts to commercial, he just picks up a plant and throws it. He just picks up one of the spore plants and throws it.
It's like, damn it!
And then it comes back from commercial. It comes back from commercial, and he's talking to Bones on a communicator, and Bones is like, I'm not interested in any physical scientific mumbo jumbo, Jim boy. I sure did grow my tonsils back, Jim boy. Mint julep, the South.
It's great out here. Everything's perfect.
And then he finds out. How did they find out that the spores thrive on the Bertholdt rays? Remember they?
Oh, I think they explain it though when Sandoval is in the corner, right? Or they end up having Sandoval say it.
Well, yeah.
Or no, Spock says it. Spock explains how it works.
Oh, because so Kirk has this very so Kirk is alone, and
Right.
he does a captain's log. Before he does a captain's log, he does.
He comes back down to the planet.
He goes back down to the planet, and Sandoval's like Spock is like, there's peace of mind, there's true Eden, Jim, and Jim says, no wants, no needs. We weren't meant to do that. Man stagnates if he has no ambition, no desire to be more than he is.
Exactly. I was gonna say this is the scene that kind of like picked up the episode for me. It was kind of like rough until like this writing, and it kind of just got more exciting because you're right. It was what is it? Spock goes, or Sandoval goes, we have what we need, but Kirk goes, accept the challenge. Like, you always have that thrive to, like, always do better and just to always top yourself into, what is it? A man stagnates if he's not ambitious, right? Like what you just said.
And so
no desire to be more than what he is.
So that's basically Kirk giving one last shot at trying to convince Spock and Sandoval to leave. And then Kirk beams back up to the ship and has a very sad scene where he's alone on the bridge.
Yeah, it was pretty funny how you started it, though.
Well, it's funny because he
just stares at the bridge.
I feel like I'm not gonna
gets
say
out of the
it.
turbo lift and he's facing the bridge with the arms behind his back, just glazed.
It reminds me of the Kim Jong-un song "Lonely" from Team America. That was playing in my head when he was looking around.
Really?
Yeah, and because he calls the other departments, he's like, "Engineering, Scotty,
yeah,
are you
goes,
there?
Scotty, yeah.
Sick bay, medical, are you there?"
But it was the other thing
security?
that you said.
I know we haven't. I know I never call for you, security, and we don't know who the security officer is. But are you there?
Red alert. No, but anyways, what's funny is that as soon as he was looking around, the first thing you said, you're like, "Shit, it's been a while since I've ever had to do any of this."
Yeah, he's like,
and
what
I was
are
like,
these buttons?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to fly this again. And I was like, imagine him just running from station to station, like, putting in his coordinates and then like taking off and then going to this place and that place.
These buttons are so different than when I learned. I haven't had. I usually
it's
just
been
say
a while.
But yeah, it's just so.
I just
sad.
say go this fast, go warp 9.
And so
I don't even know what warp 9 is anymore.
He does this monologue about how sad he is that he can't.
Yeah.
He's like, I
He
can't.
goes,
I don't know how
the
to.
ship is so big now.
I can't say. Yeah, you never think about how big the ship is until you're the only person on it because your crew's been infected by spores and they're all stoned and on a planet.
Well, yeah, in his report, he's like, I am the last one.
He's alone. I don't know how to get my crew back. I don't know what I can offer against paradise, is what he says.
Yeah, that's true. And I was also thinking, though, I was like, man, wasn't it 2 weeks ago, though? He, like, mispronounced that one lady's name
a bunch of times.
Yeah. And also he's, like, yelled at a horror. Well, not yelled, but just been, like, a dick.
Yes. This is
But it
hilarious,
was just, like,
though.
nitpicking, though. But it was absolutely hilarious how Kirk's like, oh, I miss my crew.
What can I offer? So we're watching this scene where he says, "What can I offer against paradise?" It's a very laconic scene. It's a close up of Kirk, and then a plant just raises up into the shot and blasts him in the face. Like
just
it pulls
out of the
back.
Corner.
It pulls back, and then there's a plant that's just like poof.
I wrote in my notes too, is like as if it was walking on its own, it just props up in the corner and just
like looked like a Muppet plant, and then Kirk gets it.
Dun dun dun.
Kirk's high now.
Dude.
He reaches out to Spock. He says, I get it.
Oh my God,
here's what we're
ready.
gonna do. We're gonna get it in. I'm gonna pack my stuff.
I gotta beam down, boy.
He looks at his medal that he got. He slaps it.
Oh, that's
slaps
right.
his medal, and
he
he's
gets
like,
all of his prized possessions. I think that's what he likes.
He leaves
though, right?
the medal.
He does.
Yeah, he slaps the medal and puts it down. Like, I don't need that anymore. I got the spores.
That's true.
And so as he gets to the transporter room, and it's so funny because he like puts his little suitcase on the transporter, and and of course you'd have to do that to beam it down, but it's just funny because he's like, put my little suitcase right here. He's got like 1960s luggage, like it's like what is it?
It's
Samsonite,
right? Yeah, the Samsonite.
It's like a Samsonite, and
I love
then
those, so those are
and then he starts to. And then he's ready to beam down, and then he starts to get mad. He's like, wait, right. I can't. No. He goes, no, I can't leave.
Yeah, he goes
and then he goes to he's like, the trick is, Cap, I'm always angry.
Yeah, right. Or he just does the...
He finds out.
He like strains himself, damn.
And then he breaks the plant spell.
It's a hernia.
Because he busts one. And then he has to he finds out that violent emotions break the spell of the plant, which
we were like, hey,
exactly like in the menagerie. When you had to do when they couldn't man trap.
The man trap. Yeah, that's what it was.
They couldn't read their thoughts when they were angry. And then Kirk beams Spock up, and Kirk's like,
best excuse though, yeah, because he was like, "Hey, I got a lot of stuff up here, but you don't have to get." Spock's like, "Should I send up some people?" And he's like, "No, I think you and I have it. Why don't you just go to the beam spot, and I'll beam you up here real quick." Even before that, though, Kirk is like going over his plan in his mind and how risky it is. Right, yeah,
he's like, "I'm gonna have to fight Spock."
And he's pretty strong.
He's got the strength of 5 men. He's like the fucking Hulk, this guy, and I gotta fight him so that he can beat the spores. It's a risk I'm willing to take. And that's when he does what you just said, where he tricks him to come up.
Oh, it's great.
I need your help carrying something, Spock.
It's pretty big.
Spock has a good moment with Layla. He's like, is it okay with you if I go? And she says yes.
I'll be right back, babe.
And then Spock beams up to the ship, and Kirk is standing there with a fucking pipe.
No, before that, dude, the shot of him like beaming up, and he has like the pipe in his hand, like, I'm ready to go.
And then there's this great rear shot of Kirk holding the pipe, and he says, "All right, you mutinous, disloyal, computerized half-breed, we'll see about you leaving my ship." And Spock is like Spock is like, half-breed, I guess. Computer's not accurate. And then basically Kirk just roasts Spock's ass about being a computer. And
he's
how
like, look, I'll get him pissed, but I can't beat him up.
His father was a computer and his mother an encyclopedia.
Yeah, he's like, you're not real. You're a robot. You're a robot.
A Vulcan never lived that had an ounce of integrity.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And here's where he gets super racist.
Yeah, and then it's like, oof.
He goes, because Kirk says, and he says, no Vulcans ever lived had an ounce of integrity, and you've got the gall to make love to that girl.
It's like, whoa,
hey, buddy.
And he goes, do you know what she's going to get? You should, he's like, what is the phrase? He's like, does he know that you should be squatting over a mushroom instead of being a man? And we were like, squatting over a mushroom.
So here's the context for this. Kirk is trying to get Spock mad. He says, you've got the gall to make love to that girl. Mm-hmm. And then he says, does she know what she's getting?
Yeah.
A carcass full of memory banks that should be squatting on a mushroom. Right. Squatting on a mushroom?
I don't know what that's about.
You should be in a circus with all the other freaks. He's just being a dick.
Yeah, and he like goes pretty in on the pointed ears. He's like, "You're an elf with hyperactive thyroid." I was like, "Damn, dude,
snap!"
That was fucked.
My favorite was carcass full of memory banks who should be squatting on a mushroom.
Yeah, squatting on the mushroom. I was like, "Damn, is he like?" Collecting the mushroom, gathering them.
Is it a reference to Alice in Wonderland?
No, maybe he's like a cow that like shitting. You know, maybe. There's mushrooms under cow shit.
He's cow shit on a mushroom. Oh, maybe. You should be in the circus. And then Spock gets mad enough to fight.
A pointed-eared cow, though. I don't think that happened.
Spock gets mad enough to fight with the pointed-eared
after
cow.
That.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, that's it.
He's been roasted enough. He says, keep my wife's name out of your motherfucking mouth. And then he punches Kirk's pipe in half.
Yeah, he just like bends it like it's Play-Doh.
And of course, we cut to the terrible stunt doubles. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, like they just smack each other around, and I guess it's just a lot of Spock just overpowering Kirk and, just chucking him from wall to wall. And then there's a little shot too, though, where he kind of walks up to him like Frankenstein. I'm like, yeah, Spock kind of works like the Terminator, like all these logical hits. It reminds me of what is it?
He's
a
like
Sherlock Holmes movie where he's like discombobulate.
Yes,
and he's on the side of
the Guy Ritchie one.
Yeah, the Guy Ritchie one. Yeah,
it's funny. Oh, so you're saying that Spock is like
thinking
a Terminator,
like
a carcass full of memory banks, which is exactly what a Terminator is.
No,
basically,
but still, he is logical though.
He comes out of it and he feels real bad.
Right as he's about to kill him, though. I mean, it was pretty risky.
I forgot. Yeah.
And he goes, "Wow, so you're kind of a dick."
So as Al said, Spock approaches Kirk with a stool
with the
over
table.
his head.
Yeah, it looks like the Terminator.
Terminator.
Frankenstein, yeah,
doing or like the Undertaker, like he's gonna drop a chair on him, and then it cuts to commercial. So in March 1st, 1967, when you were watching that, do you think you'd be like, is Spock gonna kill Kirk?
Like, Mom,
is this Kirk's last episode?
Mom, Spock's gonna kill Kirk.
And then Spock feels bad, which is weird because Vulcans shouldn't be able to feel bad, but he's also hungover. He's like got that emotional post trip, like after you're done tripping and you got that. And he
looked tired.
He even says, I felt great. I finally felt at peace, and you can tell that he feels bad having to give that up.
Eyes, though, as soon as he gave it up, I turned to Adam and I was like, "Damn, you son of a bitch, Kirk! I can't believe it. I was really peaceful. I was happy. Why have you done this?" And I was like, "Wouldn't that be great if he was just like, you are such a dick."
and
he's like, "Oh well, we can't fight with like 500 other crewmen, though. You know that, right?"
And also, Kirk says when Spock is all depressed, Kirk says, "Hey, don't take it too hard. How many first officers get to belt their fucking captain?"
Yeah, that's true.
And then, Spock says it's going to be tough to get 500 crewmen and colonists fighting each other. Mm-hmm. And Kirk says he's got a better idea.
Yeah, he's like, we'll just do some hyper frequency beam.
Whip up a hyper beam transducer beam.
Yeah, and he's like, wait, but we have to report to the Enterprise or to Starfleet that like I fought you. And Kirk's like, no, when we're both on the bridge making the frequency
beam. Who's gonna make the transmitter? Yeah,
and it was like
so Spock says
stupid, dude.
Spock says assaulting an officer is a court-martialable offense.
That's what he says.
And Kirk says, "Hey, if we're both in the brig, who's going to build the hyperspace transmitter?
We were there 3 weeks ago. I don't want to go back."
Ba-dum-bum. And Kirk's got to get Bones on board with all of this. Bones is a fucking yokel. Bones and Layla chat over the radio.
Oh, it's so awful. He's just like,
Spock and Layla chat over the radio. Spock's like, look, I gotta beam Bones up. And I feel like she knows, so he's gonna beam Layla up to the transporter room basically to tell her what's up and
he's
say
like,
goodbye.
I got it. And Kirk's like, are you sure? And he's like, I got it, Kirk.
I gotta do this. Basically, Spock says he can't go back to the planet. Layla says she loves him, and Spock, and on the planet he can have emotions and they can be happy. And this is when Spock says a great line. He says, "I am what I am, Layla. We all have self-made. I am what I am, Layla. We all have self-made purgatories, and we all have to live in them." And she cries, and she loses the spores from her emotional sadness.
Is what he says before that too, where he's like, I made a promise to the crew and that man on the bridge. And I was like, yeah. And that sexy man on the
hot
bridge.
velour-shirted man.
Tight-shirted velour man. He's all lonely on the bridge.
He was very lonely, though.
He was like cracking me up, though. I was like, is Spock the only one that likes Kirk? Maybe Bones.
And this is when we get the tease. Layla says, "Didn't you tell me that you had another name, a Vulcan name?"
Oh, no.
And there's a long beat where it hangs on Spock's face, and he just says, "You couldn't pronounce my Vulcan name."
And I was like, dang it. He could have tried, though.
I am Blurgorga Bigorga Blarga.
He just makes something up on the spot, and they're like, that's perfect.
So Spock and Kirk put together the transmitter.
Pretty good scene, though.
And they start it was heart-wrenching. They do a good job showing. I like when
she
Spock's
stays
got
on
emotions.
Board.
She does stay up there.
Because the spores are already out of her.
Yep.
Because she makes her fucking cry.
Yeah, so it's not just anger, it's any intense emotion.
I would think so, yeah.
Would flush out the spores.
Maybe she's
we found out.
Too.
No, I think they're trying to say that it's any, like, which is weird. So, like, you could make somebody
to, like,
laugh.
No.
You could just I bet you could tickle the spores out of somebody.
That's true, right?
It's like, you tickle somebody till they pee a little bit. It's the same thing, but with spores.
They would just be mad that there's piss in their pants, and then they're like, hey, wait, I don't feel the spores anymore.
So what happens next? What's Kirk's plan?
Oh, to like beam some weird high frequency to go across the planet to make everyone fight.
Well, they even said we can't have 500 crewmen and colonists fighting each other, and that's and Kirk
I was like, what?
Kirk says, "I've got something better in mind." That's exactly what the fuck it is.
We don't have to do it one by one now.
Yeah, that's it. But okay, there it is. It's more.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's more efficient to do it this way. So they beam the anger beam down to their brains.
To see scenes of them just beating the shit out of Bones, Sulu.
Well, we get there, sort of.
Right, sort of.
So basically, the first things we see is like Sulu in a blue shirt in a field fighting each, and they bump into each other. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Just immediately start fighting, and they turn into like cats, like when cartoon cats fight, and it's just a cloud, and their fists are coming out of the sides. Yeah. And Bones is just drinking a mint julep on the ground against a tree, chilling out. And then Sandoval comes over to start some shit. He's like, hey, we got to figure out what you're going to do now that we don't need any fucking doctors.
He's like, Bones, what do you mean? I'm a doctor.
And he's like, we don't need doctors. The spores keep us healthy.
Oh, well, maybe I could be a mechanic. Oh, dude, but he says a fire
Yeah, I've got it. But Bones looks at Sandoval and says, you want to see how fast I can put you in the hospital? Like, you'll need a fucking doctor, bro.
Yeah.
We don't need doctors. I'll show you needing a doctor, motherfucker. I'll get you on the ones and twos right here, boy.
Exactly.
And then that anger when they fight, Sandoval comes out of it and he just looks around. Wow. We've done nothing here.
He's like, shit.
We got high and laid around.
He's like, fuck, it's been 3 years. We've done nothing. No progress, nothing.
And they worked out, and again, I cannot figure out when they fucking worked this out, but the whole crux is the spores eat the Berthold radiation. It lives off it.
Yeah.
And then the spores eat the Berthold radiation out of your bodies, and the trade-off is they make you high.
But also, though, they do, I was going to mention this before, Adam, but you did kind of go past it. But when Kirk goes back, when Spock and, what's the other guy, Sandoval are under the spores and they're still explaining it, that's when Spock's like, describes the relationship. That's when you figure it all out. They just casually, I think, bring it up and tell him. As a way to like bribe him into it,
or Sandoval,
because that's a good payoff.
It just
because
came
they're
out
both
of
talking
nowhere.
about it. Yeah, because I was like, finally, they explain what's going on because it's 20 minutes into the episode, and we're just like, so they're just high.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I do remember that.
But I didn't. It was so strange because
It came out of nowhere.
If they're all high on spores, why would they explain what's going on? They don't care about science. Maybe it was before Spock was high.
No, it was like right as
I know which scene you're talking about.
Though.
I know which scene you're talking about.
Yeah. You won't
we
see
watched it. Like we it was.
Anyways, but the fights are so funny though, the way they happened.
Great fights from the anger ray. Sandoval's really sad. We just got high and laid around.
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval and McCoy work shit out, and Spock says the little high goofballs. Spock's on the bridge, and everybody's calling in all sad, like, "We're sorry. Can you come beam us up?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like when
Bones calls the Enterprise immediately too.
Like when you're a kid at a party that gets busted, and you like gotta call your parents. You're like, "Can you come pick me up? I'm sorry that I did the spores."
Yeah, they're just like. They feel kind of defeated,
they're all calling
tired.
him very contrite.
No, but at first, too, Sandoval's like, well, maybe we can make this an agricultural planet. And Bones is like, dude, you were stuck here for 3 years just now.
Without the spores.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the rays, the spores.
Dude.
Why were you here in the first place? Let's just leave. And he's like, yeah, you're right.
You're so good at keeping us on track, man.
I got you.
That scene with when I said Sandoval and Bones patch things up, I glossed over that whole shit because Bones says, "Hey, we're gonna take you to the starbase." That was always our plan.
The best part is when they're off the spores and finally talking to each other. You know,
we're gonna take you to the starbase, and then we can find you a habitable colony. And then he says, "So what do you want to do?" And he says, "We're gonna do what we intended to do. Basically, go to another planet, grow some plants." Mm-hmm. Hopefully not find other spores. And so the colonists are going to go do their thing at another colony.
So the spores you would think spread then with them, and then they just stop reporting for 3 years.
Yeah. They showed up. They were there they got there. They walked out, immediately got spored. They must have gotten spored within the first 7 days because that's how That's how long you are before your bones melt or whatever from the fucking
that's
Berthold
true.
radiation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the animals didn't make it, because they probably didn't have the constitution that humans do. They're more susceptible to the radiation.
Okay. So
And then-
anyways, everybody's beaming back up and Kirk he's so happy now. It's hilarious.
He's got people to push around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like, yes, I can boss everyone. I don't know any of these buttons.
Yep. And then as they're leaving, Bones says, that's the second time man left paradise. And Kirk says, nah, we got to fight and be assholes. That's not paradise.
Yeah, he's like, we
gotta
chose
be
that.
shitheads.
We clawed our way out of that. We beat or we marched to the beat of our own drum. And Spock's like, is that poetry, sir?
And this is when Kirk says, hey, Spock, we haven't heard much from you about Omicron Ceti 3.
The comeback.
And then Spock leaves us with the most depressing line. He says, I don't have much to say about it, except it's the first time I ever felt happy in my life.
And just
It's kind of, then it's like,
I know, and I turned to Adam like, I knew it. I'm happy.
I don't have much to say about it. You know, I don't really have any comment except it's the only time I've ever felt joy. Like, you know, I don't have much to say about it except it's the only time I've ever felt pure emotion and happiness. You know, just little things. Little things like that, Kirk. Thanks for bringing it up, you fucker.
Yeah, I know. It just brought me back to that transporter room when he just had that look on his face looking at Kirk like, I can't believe you've done this. Why couldn't you just trick Bones first? And then just leave me?
Oh, man, you can't leave your 5-time strength person. You need somebody
officer. That could telepathically fuck people up through walls.
Yeah, we found. Yeah,
apparently.
It reminds me of the Orville. Do you watch the Orville? There's a character on there, there's a character on there that's like a super strong race, and every time they need a door open, Seth MacFarlane's character goes, "Hey, can you open this jar of pickles for me?" And she like tears the door open, and it's like a running gag through the series. So that's this. That was this side of paradise. Right. That's the recap. I thought it was interesting because we both, but
go ahead. No,
we just watched The Last of Us. You know, The Last of Us finale was last night.
With spores.
With spores. And it made me think about how long spores have been in science fiction. You know,
yeah, that's right.
This is 80 years ago or 60 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and even before that, there was spores in sci-fi, and
they live and spread like mold,
mind control spores, just like
like The Last of Us. There we go.
Actually, you said in the compendium.
Oh yeah, actually, I wanted to bring that up.
Yep.
So I mean, it did just celebrate the final. It goes, the final scenes between Spock and Layla are tremendously effective, as we covered, thanks not only to the rapport between Leonard Nimoy and Joe Ireland, but the retracked music of Alexander Courage. So the music helped, obviously, too.
Absolutely.
And we were like, oh, wow, this is kind of like not a sci-fi show right now. It's kind of like a romance thing. But the earliest draft was called The Way of the Spores.
What?
Yeah, and apparently Sulu was supposed to be the central figure of love with Layla.
That's not as interesting as Spock.
No, of course not. But
Sulu falls in love all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, of course. What is it? So the illness gave Sulu a will to develop a relationship. So like he kind of just obviously goes off in his way and gets poisoned and all that. But the spores in the earlier drafts were a communal intelligence. When someone was possessed by them, the individual was granted telepathic abilities to link up with other possessed minds. So the ability to the spores were to restore health were complete enough to enable them to return the dead to life. So they were just like kind of like telepathic, like gods. Maybe it was a little too ambitious for back in the day, though.
Yeah, and that
they didn't have enough tripwire to have them flying around, even if they did that back then.
That does really touch on a lot of what we get from. There's a lot of communal intelligences in Star Trek.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of stuff like that. I think they were just trying to, chop the fat off of it. And they were like, there's no way we can do that. We need just. Because when they were doing the whole, like, fucking gag. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying, too. Also, the little special tidbit that this says, this is also one of the few times actor Eddie Paskey delivers dialogue as Mr. Leslie. His recurring recharacter occurrences help to convey the impression that the Enterprise has a constant crew. Oh no, but also the other part though.
Mr. Painter?
Yeah, Mr. Painter. There's a Mr. Painter. No, and also this episode also marks one of the few times where DeForest Kelly functions as a Southern gentleman, sipping on mint juleps, letting his full accent show, and treating the audience to his endearing smile. So that's like just how he casually talks then, I guess.
No way. Jimmy Carter sounded motherfucker.
Right.
I love
It is
it. I
hilarious, though.
love it. Oh my God. It was so good. And if for
There's a
people
lot.
for new listeners,
Oh,
what's
yeah,
the
actually.
compendium? Tell us.
It's called the Star Trek Compendium by Alan Asherman. It's just a bunch of like reference stuff that I found at a thrift store.
Like, let's say it's 1987 and you're at your grade school's book
1980s.
fair. Your grade school's book fair, and they've got the Star Trek
Yeah,
compendium.
this came out in '89.
And Al found this at a thrift store before we started doing the show, and we kind of go to it sometimes when it's got little tidbits, little factoids. It's because we don't do any research, like we don't Google stuff, so we wanted to just kind of keep
on
it
the side.
Do you have anything else to say about this episode?
Well, what I really liked, at first I didn't like it until it picked up, with Spock getting, hit with the spores and all that. What made it so great, though, is just the way we were going back and forth of, like, Kirk being all alone on the bridge and just like, shit, there really isn't anything I can do if everyone just up and leaves,
I can't
He just
pilot the
felt
ship
so
myself.
helpless. He said he had like 7 months in orbit, but there's no way he can maintain it on his own just like that.
That's right.
And I was like, dang, dude, he's done. He's like, what is it called? Abandoned, harpooned?
Marooned.
Harpooned.
Harpooned and marooned and abandoned.
Marooned.
Yeah, he said Uhura has effectively sabotaged the communications.
I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know how to fix the communications.
Effectively sabotaged the fucking
And
communications.
it seems like everything else is sabotage because I've had 3 shots of whiskey and I'm all alone on the bridge right now.
Oh man, that's one thing I'm surprised they should have had him get a drink.
Yeah, just a drink alone, just pondering like, what the fuck
Romulan
do I do?
ale.
He's like, damn, these mutinous traitors. This is just so great seeing people in line too, just like, yeah, we're leaving.
I know, sir. I know it's mutiny. I just don't give a fuck, dude. Like,
You're being a dick, man.
I'm Mr. Painter, dog. So that's it.
Yeah.
And so for I just want to do the recommendation
Oh,
for me
yeah,
quick
that's
because
true.
we're coming up on an hour here. I thought The Last of Us was fucking great.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If you haven't gotten
Fair
around
enough.
to watching it yet, 5 weeks after the finale, and I know I've talked about it on previous episodes, but The Last of Us is really good. And also, I have been, we just started teen ghost drama on Paramount Plus that's kind of good. I want to say School Spirit, but that doesn't sound right. It's a show about this kid. So basically this lady is dead, as this girl is dead, and as a ghost, she's in her school. School Spirits. I was right.
Oh, okay, there we go.
She's a lady.
School Spirits.
She's like a 17-year-old kid who dies, and she's got to kind of solve the mystery of her own death, and she's like a special ghost. She can do stuff other ghosts can't do, and I am a little piggy for that shit. Like, yum, yum, yum. Oink, oink, oink. I want my trashy TV
Wow.
shows with my high school ghosts. And so School Spirits is good. Check it out.
Okay.
And the current season of Picard, which is probably going to be...
that's going to be big.
The finale is probably aired a couple weeks ago at this point for you all in the future. But
True.
this season of Picard's been really
Time
good.
travelers.
That's it for me. What about you, Al?
Let me think. I don't know. There hasn't been anything too crazy going on. I've just been playing, still finishing Ghost of Tsushima, finishing all the side stuff.
You're
And then,
trying to
Gorillaz. I already talked about that though, right?
I don't think so.
They have a new album.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it's kind of like pop-ish, but yeah, it's pretty solid. They have a song with Stevie Nicks on there too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like a lot of interesting collabs. Let me see the other ones. They released it around, let's see, on the 24th of February, so it was last month. The song with Bad Bunny got really popular, and it's pretty peaceful. The Thundercat song's pretty good. Tame Impala, that's pretty fire collab. And then there's like this weird like electronic remix of one of their songs that I'm so with. But to me, Baby Queen is the big standout because they got their big heavy synths. And it's kind of reminiscent of Plastic Beach. If you like Plastic Beach, you'll like this one.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Cracker Island.
Oh, Oh, and also I saw Scream 6 and it was fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Scream 6.
Okay.
Those new
3D,
Scream-
worth it?
I didn't watch it in 3D.
Okay.
Because I was like, I know it's just going to be stuff flying at the screen.
knife.
And that's all. They didn't
Was it like
exploit
that or
as-
no?
Because I wasn't watching it in 3D, so I didn't really pick up on it. And even the old Screams did a lot of that anyway, because it's like jump scare shit. But it's a very good Scream movie.
It's like the 3D where you're like in the scene.
And then I realized that somebody told me that these are the same people who directed Ready or Not. And that was really good. Did you ever see that?
Who's that with?
I can't remember who's in
I'll
it,
look it
but
up.
it's basically a lady is like, it's the day before her wedding, and then it turns out that like she's a sacrifice for something, and she basically has to kill this family of elite yuppies to escape. It's really fucking good.
Yeah,
Like they have like
that went under the radar. The trailer was huge.
And then when after I saw Scream 6 and I was texting with my buddy who said that's who directed, I was like, yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. It's like
action heavy.
And they really keep up that pace. It's very good. But yeah, so Scream 6, I didn't get into the Scream movies until I got COVID. I can't say that those two things are related, but it's very good.
All right.
And that's it.
Oh, wait, what's next episode?
Oh, I've
the
even got it right
check-in,
here.
too.
Oh, we didn't do the Chekhov check-in. So we're 7 episodes away.
All righty.
Which also means we're only 6 episodes away from the end of season 1.
Wow.
Right? And next week's episode is
Single
called
digits.
The Devil in the Dark.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, and
pick it up?
It fucking rips.
Yeah, you were like, this is dope. And I was
I probably watched this episode 3 times.
You did
when
say
I
it
had
in
COVID.
that arena, so.
It's very good.
Really? Okay.
All right. So follow us at the stuff in the bumper and rate, review, subscribe, share it around, give us them iTunes
everyone.
likes. It helps other dorks find us. So
perfect.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Trek in the Valley that we probably recorded before we named the podcast or really knew to like promote things. You can find out any information about our podcast by following me, Adam, at Adam Quesnell. It's not how you pronounce it, it's how I say it for your benefit. ADAMQUESNELL on Twitter, or at FAQRulesYou at Instagram. Follow. I promote the show. You'll know when and where you can get it on more platforms, so it's on your platform of choice. Thank you so much, and reach out on either of those platforms if you want to tell us anything about the show. Also, I know that we're supposed to say this, like and subscribe, whatever that means. Thanks so much.